Okay, what's going on YouTube? I've been asked to do a recap and an explanation on my account as far as how I got here and or where I'm at now and how I got there. So here it is. When I first start, I try to do challenges. There's a lot of them where you're stuck on normal, so you don't want to get too far ahead and then have to go back and do them again. Especially the artifacts. Like this is 6 of 10. I think 7 starts. It says harden up, so once you get to brutal, you're fine. Um, Dungeons, champions, did those already. There's arena. You try to do those as you can. Uh, Concentrate on missions. You get lots of rewards. Again, the missions are ones that are some are early, so you don't want to have to go back and do them again. So you try to do them as you get to them. And you can use those rewards. You get a bunch of energy. You get artifacts you can sell or keep. Refills for arena, gems, brews, lots of silver. So it's good to have those rewards. As far as where I'm at now, let's see. Campaign, I'm still in brutal. Haven't touched nightmare yet. I'll get to that eventually. I'm not too fussed about it though. Let's see. Dungeons. Iron Twins. I can't beat the first one yet. That's fine. Not worried about it. Arcane Keep. Up to 15. Could probably do 16, but I haven't tried yet. But I won't need to for the time being. Void Keep, I think I just did 14. I think the next mission I'll have is 13. And these are locked, so I can't show you. I'm about 10 or 12, I think, in each one. Minotaur, I've done 15, but 13 is a little more stable. 15, I think I fail a few times, here and there. Ice Golem, it's getting a little difficult. I did up to 13, which I think is all I need for now for missions. Eventually I'll have to do up to 20 before Arbiter, and then probably 25 after Arbiter. Spider, I think, yeah, stage 9. I'll have to do stage 7, I think. Maybe it's stage 10. Let's check the missions. Ice Golem beat 13. 13 Arcane Keep, it's fine. Dragon 13. Minotaur 10. Spirit Keep 13. Force Keep 13. Void Keep 13. Fire Knight 10. 10 or higher, the spider's in. Yeah, so that's a long way away. As far as Ice Golem, to get further, I'm probably going to need to build an Armiger or two if I don't get a Cold Heart. No. Yeah, an Armiger or two for the block revive. There's a couple others. I can build a Conqueror if I get one. He has a block revive, but an Armiger or two should be good enough. Spider, again, Armiger would help. So would Cold Heart. The higher levels are going to be tough because you're not going to have an AoE HP burn, which is probably the easiest strat in the higher levels. Because I'm using only rares. If you're not using only rares, you're going to have access to that, so you'll be fine. Dragon's Lair, it's basically just... It's probably the easiest out of the dungeons, because you just kind of just burst him down. So that shouldn't be difficult. I might need a few spirit champs for this level, though. Fire Knight is tough. I'm on stage 11. Oh, I haven't done 11. I've been up to 10. But I need a few multi-hitters and HP. Yeah, heal reduction. That's a big thing for Fire Knight. Maybe reflect damage if I can get one. There's really only 2 rares. Runic Warden from the Dwarves and Fellhound. So that's where I'm at in dungeons. Let's see. Faction Wars, I don't really worry about. I do it as I can. I built a couple champs to get through Knights Rev the other day. Or I built 1 champ for Knights Rev just to do it. Bannerlord, I had to build a couple. Orcs, I don't have any. Lizard, I don't have any. Demon Spawn, don't have any. Shadow King, don't have any. So, not really worried about it. And let's see. Faction Wars, Arena. I mean, Silver 4. I think I reached gold at one point. Briefly. But no, I need to get back there for the challenges. But I'm not in a hurry. Tag team, I don't really care about. I stay in bronze all day long. And I'm probably not going to push for now. Clan Boss. This is my composition here. I can 2-key hard now. And I got the first chest in Brutal so far with the extra keys. I'm going to go over the comp real quick. It's basically these first 5. Kale, of course, poisons. Phantom Touch gets a little more damage. Put him in the lead for the HP lead. I had Frozen Banshee in the lead for the accuracy, but they have enough accuracy where they can put up poisons. And with him, gives them a little more HP so they survive a little bit longer. So they can do a little bit more damage. Mykolas, he has this passive. It's basically an extra ally protection. Decreases all damage allies receive by 5%. He gets the damage. Ally protection protects them at 25%. Gives himself a shield, 25% of his max HP. 2 turns, 3-turn cooldown when booked. And then he heals all allies except himself by 10% of their max HP. So it's a little bit of heals and ally protection. Helps them last longer. More heals on the A1. Heals himself and heals the ally with the lowest HP. Again, 10% of their max HP. And then you scale up his damage to heal himself more. Blessing, Faultless Defense. I put that on him. He takes less damage per hit. War Maiden, defense down. That's pretty much all she's there for. She does have poisons, 2.5% poison on the A1, but it's not really necessary. Frozen Banshee, poisons, poison sensitivity. And Apothecary is just there for speed and heals. Masteries. Masteries. I don't have a lot of masteries yet. They'll do much more damage once I get them maxed out. I want to get a different defense down, hopefully. Single target. So I can take her out. Just use her for arena. I'll probably keep him in and add a Coffin Smasher at one point because I need an attack down because I don't have that. And I haven't gotten their full masteries yet because I keep getting XP boosts and I don't want to waste them. But with CVC, rewards from events and tournaments, it's like you almost never run out. What else? Doom Tower. I got to floor 30 last time. I'll probably get to floor 30 again on this one, depending on... I might get past it, depending on who the boss is. And let me go over my roster real quick. Who I'm keeping for now. Veer. I was using him in Clan Boss. He had an attack down. I think it's the small one, though. Yeah, decrease attack. 25%. And I don't think you can put decreased speed on the Clan Boss. I'm not sure, though. But he also had poisons, but it was too many. You don't really need that many. Especially once you get her masteries up and you can extend her poisons and whatnot. My last 6-star was this guy, Anointed, for Magic Keep and Fire Knight, basically. Multi-hitter, 2 times. 3 times. And then turn meter boost. Also, Faction Wars will be good in. I wasn't going to 6-star these two, but I was using her in Clan Boss, so I figured I might as well. And there was a challenge for 6-starring a Spirit champ. And it was either her or her. And at the time, she was going to be more useful. So it was her. Draconis is going to be good for Faction Wars. And maybe Doom Tower even. Reliquary is pretty much good everywhere. Interceptor, Faction Wars, Turn Meter. Asleep or Awaken. And decrease speed. So, probably just Faction Wars. Maybe Doom Tower for the turn meter, but we'll see. Crimson Slayer is going to be Fire Knight. Turn meter. And 3-hitter. And heal reduction. So that's good for Fire Knight. Ordinator is basically just for Bommel. For the Doom Tower in the future. Probably Faction Wars by default. Quester, Faction Wars, and Spirit Magic Keep. Remove buff, trying to get rid of the shield. Again, Courtier. Decrease speed. Another random buff, that's Magic Keep again. And probably Faction Wars by default again. Life Taker is going to be Faction Wars and Fire Knight. Reflect damage on herself. Decrease speed. And heal reduction. 2-hitter, 3-hitter. Pretty much straight Fire Knight. Ashwalker is going to be Faction Wars. Stun. And decrease turn meter if it's critical. And weaken all enemies. Faction Wars. Maybe Doom Tower. Rough Stone, probably just Faction Wars. with his AoE. Steel Bowyer. Kind of on the fence about if I don't get anything good, probably just Faction Wars. There isn't much else in that faction. Grinner, Revive for Faction Wars. Ironclad, heal reduction, and increased attack on all allies. Random debuff, kind of a semi-cleanse. I was keeping him for something. Maybe Fire Knight. We'll see. He doesn't have a multi-hit, so I might not need him. But probably Faction Wars. Weak increased attack might help. We'll see. Keeping him for now. Metal Shaper is going to be for a Scarab eventually. 2-turn shield on a 2-turn cooldown. Marked, going to be Faction Wars. Greybeard, Faction Wars. AoE freeze. Rocktooth, heal reduction for a Spirit Keep, and he's magic. So I'll probably build him for that eventually, if I need him. These guys are just Guardians. Lumberer, I'm probably not going to keep. Maybe Faction Wars because of the AoE. It's 4-turn cooldown. The big decreased defense. Small decreased attack. Maybe Clan Boss at some point. Seems interesting. Might keep him for now. Hexweaver for Faction Wars. Increased crit rate, increased speed, heals, decreased AC. That's nice. Siegebreaker, crit rate on this champion, attacks all enemies. Faction Wars. For the waves, you need AoE is nice. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Yeah, probably just Faction Wars. Bone Knight hits pretty hard. Increased crit rate, all allies. Heal reduction. 2-hitter, maybe Fire Knight for heal reduction on the Force difficulty. This guy is just fusion food. Not a big fan. Probably just fusion food. Chaplain I might build for Faction Wars. AoE heals. Single target cleanse and heal. And it's just basic attack. Food. Probably food. I could always farm another if I want. I'm gonna have to keep her because she's the only rare in the faction so far. Faction Wars again. Decreased defense, AoE. Gator, probably Faction Wars. Cleanse. Elder is a single target ally protection. Food. Spikehead. Three-hitter. Increased attack on himself and crit rate. And 2-hitter. Fire Knight maybe. We'll see. Foods. Fire Knight for Aethel. Gallic. Faction Wars. Banshee, Faction Wars. Abyssal, heals all allies. Their max HP. Block buffs on all enemies. Faction Wars. He's a good support for Faction Wars. Marquez, probably Faction Wars. Attacks all enemies. Decrease attack. Hellfang. Only works with Houndspawn, really. Probably food. Flinger. Attacks one enemy. Always critical. AoE. And one enemy. Maybe Faction Wars. We'll see. Berserker. All enemies 2 times. Maybe Faction Wars. Maybe Faction Wars. We'll see. You have her. That's food. Raider. Small decreased defense. And a stun. Attacks all enemies. Decreased speed. Probably Faction Wars. We'll keep her for that. And then food. And as far as who I'm still looking for from each faction, let's see. Myrmidon is good. Ally protection. Faction Wars. Attacks all enemies. Yeah. Faction Wars. Provoke. Single target. Let's see. Spymaster is very good. Decreased buffs. Block buffs, all enemies. 2 random enemies, provoke, very good for CC. Yeah. Dagger, definitely. Defense down, even though it's 75% when booked. Decrease attack. Has a 50%. Has a bigger decreased attack if it's under decreased defense already. Faction Wars, maybe even Clan Boss, if I don't get anything better. And target turn meter reduction, 4%. Meh. Basically, Faction Wars would be Dagger, Quester, Spymaster, Courtier probably, because I have him already, and Myrmidon. Halberdier increases his own crit damage by 40%. Ignore shield and block damage. And a weaken. He hits pretty hard too, so I wouldn't be too upset with him. High Elves. Reliquary, Interceptor. Prosecutor's very good. Apothecary. And probably Fencer for decreased defense AoE. For now. Elhain, of course, maybe. She hits hard. Hyrea, the ally joint attack. You can use her as well. Sacred Order, Faction Wars. Witness has a big shield, 30% of her HP. For 2 turns. On a 4-turn cooldown. It's kind of long, but not bad. 30% increased defense on the ally with lowest HP for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. And chance of placing an extra hit. So Aethel, of course, Witness. No. Draconis. Lethal Witness, Draconis. This is a tough faction. Chaplain for the heals. And it attacks all enemies. And then maybe Castigator. He hits pretty hard. And he provokes on his A1. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 20% of this on his max HP. And then equalizes, so he's actually very good for faction wars. So yeah. Lethal Witness, Castigator, Draconis, Chaplain. Barbarians. Marked, Anointed, War Maiden, of course. Who else? Bloodbraid hits hard. Attacks one enemy 3 times. And provoke. True Lord probably attacks all enemies. And increase attack on himself. That's probably about it. Soulbond. I'm looking for maybe not for faction wars, but for turn meter reduction. Spider, whatnot. Let's see. Ogryn Tribe. Mykolos I already have. Gear Grinder for his revive. Bellower, of course. Everybody knows Bellower. AoE, AoE, AoE. Speed and faction crypts if I need it. Lumberer, probably. Does he attack all enemies? Yeah. For his AoE, and then Roughstone for AoE. Ogryn Jailer I would like for Magic Keep. That's probably about it for now. I might try to use the other ones for other things if I decide to. If I get bored. Lizardman. Flinger I'll keep for now. Metal Shaper for shields. Harrowspecs for the turn meter fill. Increase speed. And revive. What does Cagebound do? 3 turn cooldown. AoE. Small decrease attack. Yeah. Could be faction wars too. So we got Cagebound, Harrowspecs, Metal Shaper, Gator, and Flinger for now. I think Hurler might be good too. Yeah, single target. Blogwalker maybe for the reflect damage. Increase defense on all allies. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, it'd be faction wars too. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I would choose from. Skinwalkers. When did I? I'm pretty sure that was a long time ago. Greybeard, AoE freeze. Fleshmonger, AoE decreased defense. Gnarlhorn for provokes. Channeler for turn meter fill and speed. And what's he do? Target ally. Revive on death. Attacks all enemies. Random allies turn meter by 5%. Speed in all battles by 10%. So possibly their HP. Reflect damage for 2 turns with a 4-turn cooldown. Probably not. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Selfish. Heal reduction for Fire Knight. 2-hitter, 3-hitter. Yeah, Fire Knight. Blood Painter. More turn meter fill. Increase attack. Attacks all enemies. Yeah, Blood Painter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically the first 5. And possibly Lammerber. Orcs. Gaelic, of course. Chopper. If you look at a Yumi Love, you'll see his multipliers are very high. He hits very hard. Faction Wars and Magic Keep. Removing buffs. Ironclad. Yeah. Mini Cleanse. Faction Wars. Let's see, who else? Chopper, Gaelic, Ironclad. Veteran. For sure. Dungeons. Increase attack on himself. 3-hitter, heal reduction, another Fire Knight. Each hit places a 50% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. What? Okay. Oh. 50% heal reduction. Yeah, it's still fine. Totem. Attacks all enemies. Poison. So, Totem with AoE. Raider, AoE. So Raider, Totem, Gaelic, Chopper for single target nukes, and Veteran probably. Yeah. For Faction Wars. So Orcs, a few more to go. Demon Spawn, Marquess, I believe, has an AoE. Yep. So Marquess, Abyssal for support. Stealing buffs from the target before attacking. Maybe for Faction Wars bosses, possibly. 20, 30, 40% decreased defense chance. Fellhound. Marquise is another AoE. So Marquise, Fellhound. Marquise, Fellhound. Abyssal, Marquess. and possibly Hellfreak. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe Hellfang. He still attacks all enemies. Well, actually, no. This is only available when Houndspawn is on the same team, huh? So maybe I'll build them both for Faction Wars at some point. Yeah. So possibly these two, and these two, and maybe Hellfreak. So that was Demon Spawn. And I apologize if my volume's a little low. I only have one place to put my mic, so I'm trying to get as close as I can. And I'm not a loud talker, so. Undead. Banshee. Frozen Banshee by default, I already have her built. Banshee Graveshill. Bone Knight. Hits hard. Let's see. Float Wraith is good. Every time an ally kills his enemy, he heals himself. Attacks all enemies. Decrease defense and fear. Kind of stun. Stitch Beast. Turn meter for bosses, dungeons, maybe. I don't know about Faction Wars though. Doom Screech, definitely. Faction Wars. So we got 1, 2, 3. Bone Knight. 4, 5, 6. Doom Screech. And Grinner is an option for the revive if I need him. It's pretty much it. Maybe Seducer and Temptress, because they need to be together. Yeah. Ally protection, block damage. So we'll see if I get them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Dark Elves, of course Kale, Steel Bowyer, Ordinator because he's AoE, Spirit Host because she's a cleanse, and Hexweaver. Of course, Cold Heart would be in there because of how hard she hits. Paragon if I need him. That's about it. Paragon for the cheese, of course. Let's see, Knights Rev. Ashwalker. What does she do? Possibly for mini buffs. Coffin Smasher I would like for Clan Boss. Magus I would like for Faction Wars. It's AoE. AoE poisons. Stun. Renegade decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. Attacks at random 3 times. Also for Fire Knight, heal reduction, 3 hitter. Executioner, AoE. So we got possibly Theurgist, Magus, Executioner, Crimson Slayer I'll be building, so I'll put her in Faction Wars. 1, 2, 3, 4 Renegade probably, and Ashwalker. That's pretty much it. Acolyte maybe for a cleanse if I need it. That's about it. Dwarves. Dwarves have a lot. Kurzad is very good. Act on all allies and attacks all enemies. Decrease defense. Small one. Attacks all enemies again. Fills his own turn meter. Decrease speed, single target. Dogol is very good. One enemy 3 times. Decrease defense. All enemies 2 times. Decrease AC. And decrease speed, single target. Paintsmith is very good. No active buff, single target, block revive. Use him for Ice Golem. Single target nuker basically. Bulwark. Passive extends buffs. Clan boss, very good. Maybe not so much Faction Wars, but Clan Boss. Avir for support. Runic Water can be for reflect damage. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And Madman hits pretty hard. Again, I think he's single target. Oh, AoE. Yeah. Heals himself. Single target. So yeah, Madman if I can get him. Master Butcher for Bommel. When he dies, he revives somebody else. And when he's attacked, he heals all allies equal to the amount of damage taken. And not against bosses. So you can use him in Faction Wars. And revive full HP when he's killed. So I would put him in there too. That's pretty much it. Honor Guard for Magic Keep. Steal 2 random buffs again. Shadowkin. If I build Life Taker, I would put her in Faction Wars. Does he have an AoE? Single target stun. Single target decrease speed, small one. And turn meter, meh. Adachi, I believe, is very good. Block debuffs on all allies for 1 turn. And increase defense for 2 turns. It's AoE. And single target provoke. Good. Adachi, Life Taker. Fnatic, I believe AoE. It's a single debuff cleanse, AoE. And I thought he was... Oh, he's single target. Okay. Transfers 2 random debuffs from the champion to the target, maybe for the Faction War boss. Marauder, he is... I believe it's an AoE provoke. Reflect damage on all allies for 2 turns, 3 turn cooldown, not bad. Yeah, AoE, decrease attack. Single target stun, so he would be in. Marauder. Odachi. Life Taker. 1 enemy weaken. 1 enemy increase debuffs. Poison. Maybe budget clan boss. Vagabond, turn meter fill, so she's definitely in. Fanatic, Vagabond, Marauder, Odachi, and Life Taker. Sylvan, I gotta keep her because it's the only one in the faction. Alright. Sorry this video was so long, but I think I'm gonna end it there. Any more requests, let me know. Any questions, let me know. I'll answer in the comments or with another video. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks.